Lieutenant Governor. I will say before I get started, a couple things. As Tanny said, every one of our statewide candidates on the Republican ticket are fantastic people. Not only high integrity, high morals, but they're really qualified as well. I've never seen a group of people that spectacular. Steve's a great guy. Kim's just amazing. Bill Bryant's also just one of those guys you're like, look at your resume. You know, that we have these type of people will step up and serve our state. We'll be in great stead in this process. And the real ID laws too, as 2 or 3 states, I thought it was 2, that across the nation, we're the only 2 that don't have that provision. We adopted most of the real ID laws, federal laws, but not all of them. And because we have sanctuary cities and that kind of stuff. So this will be a change in the legislature that we could make so that we actually have our IDs as well. You guys know that in 2 years we can't travel outside the state, on a plane, whatever, with our ID because of this law. So it's the same thing. It affects more than just elections, but we need to get this passed anyway. So the primary, we had 11 people running for our race, open position. Brad Owens, who's the Lieutenant Governor, currently is retiring, Democrat. There's been 15 Lieutenant Governors in entire state history. So 11 of us came through. I was the most conservative, or the only conservative, and then the most progressive liberal got through on the other side. So we got the top 2 in their state. So I'll talk about my opponent just for a moment. He is a Seattle liberal attorney, been in 2 years in the Senate, 2 years in the House. He's been quoted as saying he wants to drive forth a progressive agenda to all 4 corners of the state. Okay, well, that may be good for him, but it doesn't represent the state. And then he's for an income tax, he's for a capital gains tax, he's for a carbon tax, he's for anything that actually puts more burden on you. So that's that. So we know that one choice is that, well, who am I? You know, and why would I be better than him? So I grew up in Eastern Washington. I grew up in Quincy, Wenatchee, and Grand Coulee Dam, not too far from here. And you guys, since this is like home turf for me, I grew up as an Eagle Scout. I was camping up Lake Bonaparte for years. I was, up in Nasket, over Lake Penticton, like every other weekend. Love it. So I know this area. My grandfather was a farmer, and my dad's a rancher. So when it comes down to property issues, like Joel was talking about too, I loved it. I grew up in it. This is the stuff we know. I did go to UW, I'm sorry.
All right.
Yeah, there you go. But I was pre-med. I was the only one out of my high school that went to UW. While I was there, I got a job in healthcare. I was anesthesia tech. For 13 years, I got to be one of 5 in the entire state that could do what I could do, which is basically go open heart surgery, do anesthesia, do these high intense cases. And basically worked every other night and every other weekend. And there was 2 weekends in a row we worked from Friday morning until Monday morning straight through. And it's fun, adrenaline rush. But the idea there, well, we were in, if someone had a calf and their heart valve dissected, we had about 10 minutes to get them airway, get them lined up, get them in the OR room, get them ready for surgery. And I love that, because it's like, okay, everything's hitting the fan, how do we do it, right? And so I just get calm. All right, I'll take care of it. Everybody else gets freaked out, right? Because, they're dropping stuff. Imagine being in the Senate and actually having that kind of demeanor. When things are bad, let's get calm, let's put things first and get things done. My wife's a nurse. I met her there. I'm a beautiful wife. She's been a nurse for 26 years. As we got married and had our first son, we realized that both of us working in healthcare probably wasn't best for our family. So I entered into real estate. Last 17 years I've been selling real estate all over Puget Sound. I've managed 9 different offices, had 150 different real estate employees, owned several other small businesses as well. Some good, some not so good, but doing well. The last 3 years we planted a church in Gig Harbor, so I've been pastoring that as head pastor, engaging family. And then the last 2 years, in addition to those 2 things, I've been on the radio in Seattle, a program called Eyes on Washington. There's a lot going on there, but the idea is we have about 75,000 to 100,000 people a week we talk to. And our program is social and political commentary from a Christian perspective. We say, let's talk about all the issues facing our communities, and then let's encourage people to get engaged. We have 3 people running for the House this time that listen to our show that we said, you can do it. We believe that every community, every man, woman, and child has a God-given talent or gift or ability that if they stepped out and engaged their community, they can help make the community better, their county better, their state better. I think you're all called for something. So we were encouraged by that. So why Lieutenant Governor, though? So, before I go there, I have 3 kids. My oldest is 19, my daughter is 14, my youngest daughter is 13. Logan, Faith, and Grace. We have a long story, not enough in 10 minutes to tell it, but my sons went through 2 bouts of leukemia. My daughter was a donor. our faith has grown because of the things we've gone through. So those fires, and we'll talk about those later, but the point is we've learned to trust and obey, okay? Now that said, Lieutenant Governor, second highest position in the state. The duties, you are the governor when the governor's gone. Last 20 years, it's been about 90 days a year. So 1/4 of every year, you get the full power and authority of the state, of the governor. You preside over the Senate, which means you bring both sides together, try to get done on it in a reasonable orderly time, and deal with the issues in proper order, right? Well, we've had 7 special sessions in a row. So the person doing it now is not doing a very good job, right? Okay. You chair the Rules Committee, so every piece of legislation comes through rules. Okay? How important is that? It's huge. My opponent says he'll veto bills or won't sign bills that are brought forth by both sides. You can't do that. It's ridiculous. But the point is you are there to work things through. The Rules Committee, though, can be used against you. Now, I know we're in Oroville. We don't talk about this, but you know, same-sex marriage, right? It came around. How did it come around? 2 Democrats brought the legislation, right? Derek Kilmer and then Mayor of Seattle. And it got stuck in committee. The current lieutenant governor went and pulled it from committee and brought it to the floor, so it got voted on, so it got passed. So you can be very bad, or you can say, you know what, we don't want to hear this right now. We want to see what's best for the state. Rules Committee. You chair the economic development and any trade. Anything to do with development or trade, it's a big committee. So, you know, experience with dealing with people is important. Big thing in this state when we're divided on many issues, social, political, economic, is Lieutenant Governor breaks all ties. Okay? So it's important that you can find someone you can trust that's going to break the tie in the way you want to. Okay? Now, I believe the Lieutenant Governor has a lot more opportunity. Besides that, the Lieutenant Governor also sits on the Finance Committee, meaning those are state investments, our retirement funds. The Governor, Lieutenant Governor, and the Treasurer sit on that committee. Pretty important. I think beyond that, though, the Lieutenant Governor has a staff for the rest of the year. Just like Joel and Shelley come home and they work on issues right here locally, and they're pretty busy. You know, the Governor has a statewide view, and so does the Lieutenant Governor. Everybody else has a local view. It's nice to see the big picture. How does it all work together? I think we have an opportunity to bring common sense solutions. One of those is every state agency in our government has a budget. At the end of the year, if they don't spend their budget, they lose it. So what do they do at the end of the year? Okay, the same thing federal government. So doesn't that make any sense? I'm just from Grand Coulee. I'm a small town guy, but I'm like, we got to do better than this, right? So I talked to Bill Bryant, who hopefully gets elected, Mark Malosha, many of our senators, including Dan Angel, on board. Let's just fix it. We're already budgeting the budget. You know, we have nothing to lose by saying you can't lose it. Okay, it's fixed no matter what. However, for every dollar you save through cost savings, innovation, or streamlining, or not spending money you don't have to spend, at the end of the year, verified by the auditor the next year, still delivering the same services to the people, as the people are in charge, 10% of those reallocated funds can come back to the employees as a bonus. Okay, 20% can pay those unpaid pensions, and 70% can be reallocated for education. It's a win-win for everybody. You know, and it's something we should have done years ago. Something you can do with leadership. Instead of focusing on things like, you know, that divide us, focus on things that make sense. Because these agencies are supposed to be serving you, not themselves. Do you guys know that we have state agencies actually hiring lobbyists with our taxpayer dollars to lobby legislators to grow their agency? How is that serving you? It's not. You got to change the culture of Olympia. Part of that, of being lieutenant governor, is being the leader. I talk about the golden rule. Yes, I'm a Christian. Yes, this is important. Golden rule is treating everybody how you want to be treated. People have 3 basic needs: to be heard, valued, and respected. When's the last time you felt heard, valued, and respected by your government? Right? Your representatives are great, but this is the idea. Change the culture so your agencies and government actually puts you first. Okay? Now, outside of session, I think we have a real big opportunity to engage communities like this. Okay? You know that most of the answers in Olympia don't fit here. One size never fits all. The solutions for Oroville are probably in Oroville. Okay? So what I promise to do is why I'm here tonight as well. I have an opportunity to be anywhere. But I want to come home, first of all. Second of all, I want to say these local things is I want to gather together local leaders, local government leaders, local business leaders, local nonprofit and church leaders in every community around the state with local legislators and say, what are the 3 to 5 things in your community that you want to address that isn't being addressed by Olympia? And is there a local business solution for government? Is there a local government solution? Is there something that nonprofits and faith-based groups can do in a more efficient and timely manner than government can? Then is there some red tape or rules or regulation that gets us in the way? If there is, I'll take that back to the Senate and say, Senate, this is what Oroville needs us to do in order for them to help themselves. Common sense once again.
And that is yours.
That's how there we go. No, I have about 10 more minutes, so
Thank you, Marty.
you're welcome. Okay,
Yeah,
good.
sorry.
I will say this, though. Thank you very much. God bless and everything. But back of my shirt is pretty straightforward. It says God, family, country. That's who we are. So God bless.
Okay, thank you very much.